serious artist, such as Valentin Popov, you have to realize that what the result will be not you as you see yourself, but you as they see yourself. And I think the great portraits, of course, are not simply the artist pleasing the sitter, but the artist working in collaboration with the sitter. And it might not be just exactly what you perceive, you preconceive what it was going to be. But that, to my mind, is the adventure, the sense that you're not going to know what is going to happen until he calls you up on the phone and says, guess what, it's done. And I think even though these are mostly kind of straightforward headshot portraits, these works of art do give us a sense of capturing something that will be valuable, not just in terms of how Valentin did these individual portraits, but giving you a sensibility of this particular time and place years from now. And very few artists in the Bay Area have accomplished this in terms of portraiture.
Bonjour, my name is Pierre-Yann Guidetti. I'm the CEO of Savoir-Faire, and I'm Valentin's very close friend and art supplier. What I want to tell you, this interaction between the artist and the art suppliers is way beyond what you could imagine. All the process, if you had any idea, all the steps that an artist at the caliber, at the level of Valentin's going through. It starts from the material, from the pigment itself. It's so particular, so difficult, you know. Not easy always sometimes to be suppliers because it's extremely difficult, very, very precise about his needs. So it's a good challenge for him. So at some point I help him, but also he helps him to evolve.
A little bit closer to the window. Okay.
And slowly come back to me.
As you remember, I resisted the picture at the beginning because I felt the hand was sort of self-conscious, but maybe I am self-conscious. And maybe you, or maybe somebody else sees it entirely differently, but this picture also just haunts me.
You know, I think one of the most important purposes of my work, I still trying to understand through my work who I am. You know, everything which come out showing side of me, which I was sometimes was not aware of.
Yeah.
And then you're giving life to something which become almost semi-material, because painting, it's, I think, something between reality and surrounding, which is a flat surface. It's basically cast of reality, I will say, also sculptural. So basically it's almost reality. So I create this virtual reality, and I say like, what did I create?
The galleries, the others coming, may sell or may not sell. How do you feel about them?
You don't want to be dead without selling any pieces. You don't want to be too commercial. Art is a communicative language, basically. You want to communicate with some people. However, when too many people telling me, I love your work, usually I'm changing style.
We were sitting around my yard one day and he was taking endless photographs and I was posing and all of this, and then he said, no, you have to do something funny or different or make a face. So I did my little eyebrow thing that I learned when I was a child actor back in Hollywood. So he took that from that photograph when I raised my eyebrow.
There's an old quote that goes, life is short and art is long. And one of the things that is true, that a lot of photographs of ourselves end up in drawers after we die. But paintings, especially if they're good paintings, are going to live a long time. And so the nature of sitting for your portrait, the nature of having your portrait done is a challenge, but it's also something that paint is going to be around a lot longer than you are.
So your coming to the artist program in 1990 had some significant impact on you as an artist.
No question about it.
Because you did something completely different. I remember the painting you were doing, you said was completely different from what you did
even
before.
in my books, there was a period, LA, California, also painting made in Jurassic program. I realized after painting, all the painting which I think in bright, which I came from Russia, were basically gray. As first time in my life, I was just walking in San Francisco, looking at the sky, just realize how beautiful California is. And I feel this feeling of happiness, of being, without needs or necessity to prove anybody anything.
When did you meet my father?
Well, I met Valentin about a quarter of a century ago when he was an artist in residence at the Artist Colony, which I founded. But I met him specifically as a portrait artist. He did a remarkable double portrait of me. You're seeing here behind me is a metal or plastic metal mask because I came down with a serious case of throat cancer, really cancer of the tongue, about 8 months ago. And then I had to have this really fierce radiation therapy. Now the radiation therapy worked and the tumor was destroyed. That is a mask whereby your face gets completely screwed tightly onto a tabletop and screwed down so you can barely open your eyes so that the beam, the radiation beam can exactly be focused where it has to be. So having been tortured with this every day for 7 weeks, I then got it back when I was finished. And usually they told me at the hospital that people throw it away. And I said I would not throw it away. I would try and convert it into this torture piece, into a piece of rod, if I survive this, and I'm obviously surviving it. So I thought again of Valentin, the portrait, and I simply gave him this. I said, do whatever you think you'd like to do. And this is what it is.
What I see in Valentin is always reinvent himself. You know, he's always pushing the envelope. He's always, and I know it because from the supply side, it's very, it's very challenging. So I don't know where it's going exactly because it's always a surprise. But what I can promise you, it's not going to stay still, and it's going to surprise us, and it's going to make everybody be interested in his work.
Valentin as a Russian postmodern artist who has captured the current sensibilities of America, who has understood the consumerist obsessions which were first underlined by the American pop art movement, which is resulting in his mix of Russian historical imagery and his deriding and sarcastic takes on the popular culture in both countries.
One thing I was struck by was Valentin's command of the two most difficult challenges in any portrait are the eyes and the mouth. If you don't have the eyes right and you don't have the mouth right, it doesn't work. An artist can draw things out of a person that most photography or certainly snapshots can't. And Valentin is particularly good at creating something new. I think that some people might even look at their portrait afterwards and say, not only did he capture me then, but I might have something to live up to.
One of the things about Valentin is that he has a sardonic sense of humor. He has a sense of observing social mores. He has a sense of commenting on popular culture and all of those things. He has a wonderful sense of a command of his mediums, whether it be printmaking, drawing, or painting. But one of the things that I think is important is Valentin is a people person. Valentin likes people. Valentin interacts with people very well. Valentin is not somebody that goes off into a solitary studio and is antisocial. He's a social animal. And one of the things I think that you see in these portraitures is he likes people. He likes to look at people. He likes to observe people. He sees not just facial characteristics, but their sensibilities, their character, and their gestures and things like that. And those are the things that I think have challenged him in this series of portraits, to try to capture what is below the surface of not just the face itself, but below the surface, that sense of pose, that sense of the turn of the head, or whatever, that really captures a person very often who he knows quite well. Many of them are very old friends. And so it's a way of him being close. Some people give a dinner party and Valentin paints a portrait.
It's all magic. Everything that happened between Valentin and I is pure alchemy. There you have it. That's the height of magic.